A couple of weeks ago, I attended Figma's design conference. There is a lot of hype about it, but is it really all that? In this video, I'm sharing my honest opinion about the conference, letting you know if reality met my expectations, how much I spent, what could have been better, and if I think it's worth it going. Before we jump right in, I want to mention something not important, but curious. Apparently, I was mispronouncing the name of the event all along. I was saying config, but it's actually config. Anyways, all right, so let's talk about expectations in how the event really went. If you saw my preparation video, you may have noticed that I did a lot of research prior to the event. So I've heard a lot of people that attended in 2023 saying that the lines were huge, that the organization of the event was just not good. So to be honest, when it comes to the structure and the organization, I had very low expectations. My true expectation was on the people. I wanted to go to the conference to get to know people, to connect, and really get a feel of the product design industry. But when it comes to the organization of the event, there are definitely a couple of things that could have been better. And a disclaimer here, you're gonna notice that for most of the things that I mentioned, I don't see them as a big of an issue. First of all, because I have no experience organizing events, so I don't know how hard it is. And secondly, because parts of me wonders if it's really possible for you to have 13,000 people in the same place and not have lines. Like if you attend to any other conference or if you go to music festival, you're gonna wait in line. So my expectations about config were just not different. The first thing I think could have been better were signs. Especially during the first day, I had a hard time learning how to get around, finding where lunch was going to be, and finding the locations of the sessions. I think signs with maps and etc. would have been really helpful, but they had this huge staff. So there was always someone who was available to help you out if you looked around. So let's talk about lunch and also about the shop. They only had one entrance point. So that resulted in a very long line. We only had 1 hour for lunch, and as the panels in the morning were often delayed, then there was just not enough time. I don't know if maybe we had more entrance point, more lines going on, if things would have been better. And same for the shop, if we had more than one shop, because people really wanted to buy that merch. That would require a little bit more infrastructure on their end. So I don't know if that was just a trade-off that they made. Two places that were always crowded as well was the station where you would pick up patches to add to your bag, and also a different thing they had, it was an aura photo that you could take. Basically, you would stand in line, then you would take your picture, and when they printed out that picture, some colors would be sort of representing your aura, and then someone would take the picture and explain things to you. I wasn't able to take my photo because the line was either too long or they were closed because of the keynotes, which was a bummer, but I was able to stand in line for the patch for a long time, and then I got it. And since we talk about the patches, let's talk about the swag. So they had the bag in different colors. You couldn't really choose the color, but then you could try to exchange it with someone. Inside of it, you would find a notepad, a marker, a pen, a booklet with a couple of details, a water bottle, a keychain that you could go ahead and collect more chains, and of course, your badge. I think it was a really nice kit, honestly. So now let's talk about how much I spent to attend. So my tickets were $175. Then I got the Clipper card to walk around the city, so $50 for commute. For the nights that I was there for the event, around $250 for accommodation. For plane tickets, I got them for $161. And lastly, considering $30 to $40 per day for food, so $80. So ballpark, we can consider around $700. Now let's talk about if I think it's worth it. I'll not be judging based on the money that I spent, just because I believe that each person has their own context, but based on the expectation that I had to connect with people, for me to meet other designers, other product managers, and really feel closer to the industry, I think it was 100% worth it. But there are two scenarios in which I think may not be worth it going to config. The first one, if you want to go solely for the content, so attend all of the sessions and learn as much as you can. Although you're going to learn during the conference, the organization of the event may get on your way. So in this case, you may be better off staying at home and watching all of the panels on your own pace on YouTube. The second scenario that may not be very worth it is if you're not as close to Figma, not as excited. Because again, you're going to be going more for the content and not the entire experience of the conference. And there are a couple of things on my end that after the event, I noticed that I could have done differently to enjoy it even more. The first thing, I did that, but I'll definitely continue to do is get the badge the day before the event starts. I've heard about a lot of people who had to pick up their badge on Wednesday and they were only able to get in by noon. So they completely missed the opening keynote. The second thing is to join the Slack channel of the conference. I didn't know that before I was there. And it was a very useful channel of communication where people were sharing tips. The third thing is I'll try to connect more with people online before going. The fourth thing I'll do is get earlier on both days. The conference starts at 9, but they open at 7. I think that if I had gotten there by 7, I think I would be able to enjoy like all of the booths that were around. So I'll be able to go there and chat with people. I would also get shorter lines for the pet station, and I might have been able to make it to the Aura photo thing. It would be a good way for me to experience those extra things without the event being so crowded. I hope you found this video helpful. If you attended the event, let me know in the comments how your experience was. And if not, let me know if you would like to go and why. Maybe if the channel keeps growing, we may even have our own in-person event next year. We never know. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like and also to hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Happy designing!